Morning update for a Monday. Good morning. Paul Lynn here. Scott Lynn is off this week. News from the Friday meeting of the city's Gang Violence Task Force indicates Portland police are having trouble solving gang-related homicides because eyewitnesses who likely saw something won't come forward. Joining us this morning, Sergeant Pete Simpson, Portland Police Public Information Officer. Sergeant, good to talk to you again. Has this been a long-term problem in terms of solving these gang homicides?
It really has, Paul. It's not just gang homicides, it's just gang shootings and other crime in general. Portland's seen street gangs here since the mid-1980s, and it's really been a problem from the very beginning. There's a code of silence that goes along with being involved in street gangs.
Have you ever been, or have these investigators ever been successful in breaking that code of silence?
Well, certainly they're successful, all the time. It's just, for good gang investigators, it's the first thing is understanding there is a code of silence, and the second thing is understanding how to break it and how to apply pressure in the right places. There's a lot of different ways to do that. It sometimes means your witnesses become suspects, and you have to find a crime on a witness to get them to become a cooperating witness. Sometimes it's your victims who don't want to cooperate, and so you have to, see what they're up to, and a lot of the victims are involved in gang crime too, and it becomes messy sometimes, but the ultimate goal is to bring justice to the community that wants to see gang members held accountable. It creates a lot of additional work for investigators where in other cases, say, your victim cooperates, your eyewitnesses cooperate, and they tell you what they saw. With gang cases, oftentimes it's the opposite. They'll tell you nothing, or they'll lie to you, and you have to sort out the lies from the truth.
And those eyewitnesses who may not be gang members are obviously worried about their own safety, right, in terms of giving you information.
Well, there's certainly some of that. There's a belief by a lot of people that if they say something, they're going to get killed by the gang, or they're jeopardizing their own life. And in some small cases, that may be true. Typically, the people that are at the most risk are the people that are they themselves are involved in gang crime or gang activities also, so they're very close to the action. To most people, they're not really that close to it. And, a long time ago, I was a gang detective for several years, and I interviewed a guy, and my partner and I asked him, what's it going to take for you to stop doing what you're doing? And without blink, without a delay, he said it's very easy. When the community stands up and starts calling the police on us, we'll have to stop because we won't have a place to hide. I thought it was really telling in that it's not just the gang members, it's some of the community around them that kind of turns a blind eye to it and doesn't want to be involved. But that's exactly what we need to happen, is everybody to call the police and get involved and say something and apply pressure from all directions.
And especially troubling given the stats this year, the gang violence response team has been called out 37 times for shootings, compared with 26 instances by April last year. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a bad year by a statistical count.
Well, certainly. I mean, there's no reason to think it's going to level out at this point. I mean, we looked for that last year, and we were up significantly last year, and we were up the year before. And so, unfortunately, the reality is that we've got a rising number of gang-related shootings early in the year when the weather's not good, and we know that during the summer months it gets much more violent. So, our gang investigators and gang officers work tirelessly to break those cases and bring a sense of relief to the community that is struggling with gang violence, and let them know that this does matter to solve these cases, and if you do step up and say something, it'll help solve them, and we can take care of you as a community.
Sergeant Pete Simpson, Portland Police Bureau. Pete, thanks for educating us this morning.